and Amanda and Pat and their lovely two dogs. And I've already baked a cheesecake this morning and laid like a cement foundation in my backyard. So it's been a lot.
Wow.
I'm excited. This is like the relaxing part of my day now. So I'm very excited
Wow.
for what we've got to dig
Incredible.
into.
Well,
No pun intended.
I wish I could have gone long on the cement foundation earlier this morning, but
Yeah,
I didn't know it
seriously.
was happening, you know.
Seriously.
These
Well, you can come see it anytime, you know? It's very lovely.
wonderful,
Eventually,
wonderful.
there will be a grill on top of it. I think because it's July 4th, I felt like the need for a grill, and now I've got the place to put one. So
That's amazing.
I'm
That's
excited.
amazing. Well, folks, welcome to this special live event on Friday, July 4th, 2025. This is a special holiday presentation. We have some really cool stuff coming your way. Mr. Stephen Ground is here. Mr. Tom Busby just joined us. Hi, Tom. Good
Hey,
morning.
how you doing,
All
David?
right, how are you, sir?
I'm doing great.
Awesome, awesome. Well, folks, the markets are closed today, being a holiday, but this still might be the most important trading day of the year or non-trading day of the year. How about day of the year for your trading? Let's go with that. Might be the most important day of the year for your trading. Tom is going to be showing us his annual mid-year market update, which will let us know what he thinks is going to be happening for the rest of 2025, some stuff that could really make or break your trading going forward for the rest of the year. And on top of that, Tom's going to be revealing a brand new signal that he's going to be watching every morning when he trades for the rest of 2025. And it's going to allow us to target hundreds of dollars or more every morning before lunch. And it's a signal that fires before the market even opens. So it's really pretty cool. And I'm really excited to see the presentation. I have not seen it yet, but today, actually, nobody's seen it yet. This is the brand new first premiere of this presentation of this brand new signal that Tom's going to be presenting to us. So, market update, brand new signal, special opportunity for everybody who sticks around to the end of the webinar. Awesome, awesome thing for this holiday day here.
Love it. I'm excited. Tom, I've dug into what you have here. Really excited to see it and go through it with you. And for me, I'll just say selfishly, anyone who knows me well knows I am not an early bird or a morning person. So one of the things I love about this, Tom, is that even though the signal fires early in the morning, you don't have to be up and at 'em to chase, the powerful results you can get from that. You can take your time, sleep in a little bit, and still make the most out of this amazing signal. So on a day like July 4th, well, markets are closed July 4th, but if you had a day off you wanted to sleep in, it would still work for you. So I'm really excited to dig into it. Thank you, David.
Yeah, absolutely. Before I turn it over to you guys, folks, just want to mention myself and a few other people will be here in the background. If you have questions during the presentation, go ahead and put them in the chat, the Zoom chat, and we will try and answer them as quickly as we can. And if need be, we will queue them up for Stephen and Tom to answer at the end of the webinar in a Q&A. But you can go ahead, put them in the chat when they occur to you. And if you can hear us well, you can see us well, you can find the chat. Just give us a hello right now, real quick. Let us know that everything's working on your end. Let us know where you're joining us from. We already have a few people checking in from all over the country, but we always have people here from all over the country and all over the world. It's wonderful to see what a kind of global community we have of people that are learning to trade from Tom. And we have people checking in right now. That's great from Florida, Miami, Georgia, all over the place. So that's great. Make sure that you put away any distractions because you're going to want to pay very close attention to the stuff that Tom and Steven are putting on the screen and maximize your screen. Make it as big as possible on whatever device you're watching this on so that you can see all the detail that they're going to be presenting. Other than that, I'm going to fade into the background now, answer any of your questions in the chat, and turn it over to Steven and Tom.
Thanks,
Fantastic.
Dave. Have a happy fourth.
All right, Tom, I'm excited for this. Let me share my screen here because we've got some awesome stuff to go through. And before we dive into the bulk of what we want to share today, I want to talk a little bit about what Tom's doing because we're going to let him give his market update here in just a second. And to do that, you need to know just how on the ball he's been over the last few months, him and his team. Tom, you've got an amazing team at DTI. I know you don't do it all yourself, but you do a lot of it. So we're looking in May at 44 total trades, 41 wins, 3 losses for a total accuracy rate of 93%. If you think that's good, take a look down here at June, 27 and 0, 100% accuracy rate. And then here's what happened at their Sawgrass conference, which I got to attend some of. Tom, always a great time at Sawgrass. You guys went 8-0, if my quick count is correct. Looks like 8 trades and 0 losers, 8 winners. An incredible result for the folks that attended there. And already in July, 3 winners and no losers. So Tom, first of all, welcome in. Thank you for doing this. I know you do July 4th every year, and that's because you think it's such an important non-trading day for folks, but such an important measuring stick. We'll dive into that in a minute. But first of all, what do you attribute that success to that we just ran through? Because it's pretty impressive.
Sure. I've been doing this a long time, and this is a hard game. I always tell people you got to work at it. And one of the things that I noticed over the years was that I had to keep up with all the information. So it's real fast. So I had to embrace technology. And what I've been doing over the last 2.5, 3 years is taking what I would call signals and stuff I know that work and having it programmed to take the burden off me from having to do it by hand.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really worked out real well, with our different, different approaches in the technology area. And what I did, I've been doing the early bird for years, or the sunrise for years, and all this. And this is how I get my ideas. The people in my TNT know that I always have a magic 5 I go with in the morning. Well, it comes from what I'm talking about today. And I'd like to be at the front of the class. In other words, I like to know what stocks are going to move before Wall Street or anybody else even knows they're going to move. And I see the progression of them in the early morning hours. And the beautiful thing about this is it's tailored that you can, like you said, Steve, you don't have to be an early bird to grab it. You can grab it around 10 o'clock Eastern time, which if you're in the market, you should be up and watching it by that time. Yeah. And it sets up beautifully. It gives you ideas, tells you about market direction, tells you a lot of information nobody else has. And I like to go into the market having the odds in my favor, and the people that's been following this know that. So if you ask me how we were able to achieve those type results, it's because the technology is coming together and we're able to really stand back, let the market do what it does to put us in the driver's seat. And it's some simple steps. We've condensed it down to simple. I like simple.
I lost my screen there for a second, so bear with me for a minute. But yeah, Tom, what you put together is pretty incredible. And I love what you're doing with looking at the early market, because a lot of folks don't even realize that they probably have a vague understanding that the market starts before 8 or 9:30 a.m., the opening bell, but they might really not know what that looks like or what they need to look for in those times. And so you're kind of breaking it down, making it super simple for folks, and getting that, all processed for them. And I've got it back now, Dave. So thank you for stepping in, but I can take it over hopefully and keep it. Although if you want to shadow us and make sure you can jump back in if that happens again. All right, Tom. So before we dig into exactly what you have prepared and what you're looking at, I want to ask you 2 more questions, because we have talked about July 4th a little bit. It's a beautiful day. It's a wonderful kind of built-in break into the middle of the summer. July seasonally is one of the strongest months of the year. Why is it that you think of July 4th as such a big decision point in the market? And then kind of what are you expecting for the rest of the year now that we've reached this point?
Right. And I'm going to give you a couple, timing factors that you need to be aware of. July the 4th, the market will tend to, over the, today plus about 5 plus 5, 6, 10, 15 days. Sometimes it reverses the trend coming into July 4th. So you got to be aware of that. Today over in the futures market, the market's down from Friday. So it looks like it's under a little pressure going into Sunday night. But the good news is, if you'll write this date down, this is what I believe. I've been saying it all year, and now we're getting close. I can't hide from it anymore. This is the day that I believe that is going to be the kickoff for probably the greatest second half in our history. Okay, in our history, I'm talking about the second half. So write this date down. It's going to be a little rocky until we get to this date, but after that date, if you're listening, I'll keep you on track. But July 21st is the date. Okay. July 21st. I said about 3 weeks after this bill passed, you can add that to the time. It'll settle down. There'll be, you know, they always have the rocky part after the great, you know, the news that comes out. So July 21st should kick off what I would call a run in the market. And we've been teeing it up, you know, all year long. But the idea is you don't want to be on the sidelines. And you ask yourself, well, the beautiful impact of what happened is that we're going to have a lot of growth. Kevin Hassett, the economic advisor, has said that GDP should be pushing 4% in the second half. If he's right, then I'll be right, because if we're pushing that kind of growth, this market's got a lot of marking up to do. Now, what I like to do, and it's just me, I'm a market timer, I like to wait until the dust settles, everything's clear, and we go in where you don't have that pain and suffering from being early. But July 21st is really the date I'm looking at right now. Now, as the market goes, if I'm right, you'll be, you know, obviously hearing about it. But we're off to a great start in July already. We hadn't got going good, right? And so we finished the numbers. I have the numbers now. I have a 3-day computer system that tells me whether to be long or short. I've got those numbers in place. I'm so excited about what's going to happen, Stephen, that people are going to be able, what I call, erase a lot of sins of the past if they listen. That's all I'm going to tell you. Erase those sins. And I've had a lot myself, so we got some to erase, you know, going forward.
I love that, Tom. I think you're right. I tend to agree that it's going to be an incredible second half, and we're about to dive into how you plan to play that. But I also appreciate your honesty that, you know, hey, you've made mistakes. You're going to walk people through, you know, the footsteps that you've made in the past to avoid the mistakes you've made there before. So are you ready to dive into this, Tom? Because I'm excited.
I say let's get into it, because we've been waiting, you know what? We've been waiting a long time to share this like we're doing today. We planned it, so listen up, okay? Awesome. And that is so, so important.
All right, well, let's do it. So we're going to be talking about a new way to target $250, $500, even $1,000 a day before lunch, all thanks to the signal that Tom watches before the opening bell ever rings every day. And we're excited to dive into this. First and foremost, we always want to say the profits and performance shown are not typical. We're not making any future earnings claims. You can always lose money in the stock market. Everybody here is a smart trader. If you're giving up part of your July 4th to be with us, you already know that. But nonetheless, the trades expressed are from historical backtested data in order to demonstrate the potential of the system. The average backtested return per trade, winners and losers included, is 11.91% per weekend trade, and every example is based on a $2,000 starting stake unless otherwise stated. The historic success rate is 77%. We can't guarantee any future results, but there's always a high degree of risk in trading. So see the terms on DTI's homepage if you want more information. Secondly, there's always going to be losers in trading. We just like to beat this drum again because we don't want to think we're steering people otherwise, just because we've got a really incredible system. The whole purpose of what Tom does is to give you an edge, and as we just saw from those numbers, it's a pretty powerful edge. Still, if you can't handle a losing trade, you really shouldn't be trading with real money, because losses in trading have occurred and will occur in the future. Now, my name is Stephen Ground, and I'm really excited to be here, and I want to start with a question. What if there was a way to target $250, $500, or even $1,000 each day, all thanks to a signal that fires before the opening bell even rings? I'm talking about a way to target a couple $100 a day or more, while most folks are still stuck in traffic on the way to their boring day jobs. Now, for some of you tuning in, that might sound a little far-fetched, and I understand that. But as you'll soon see, according to the trading legend joining me today, it's now possible thanks to one of the most powerful and often overlooked signals in the market. For example, look at what his study shows happened back on May 21st. Now, while most folks were dreading the start to their workday, thanks to a little known signal on CRWV, CoreWeave, that took place before the opening bell, anyone could have clicked a few buttons to jump in right after the markets opened and watched as the stock exploded higher all day long, handing out a $508 payout in just a few hours. Then the next day, same exact thing. While most folks were still swapping stories at the water cooler, trying to pass time at the day job, anyone who would have caught the sunrise signal on Tesla, which fired before the markets opened, could have placed a quick trade right after the opening bell, and when things worked out, watched a cool $473 hit in their accounts before the end of the day. And then just a few days later, same thing. While most folks were stuck in boring meetings, we've all been there, anyone could have seen one quick signal on Nvidia, again, firing in the morning before the open, and then placed the trade while they were out for a morning walk and cashed in with $491 when it was all said and done. It's all thanks to one incredibly powerful signal that fires each morning at 8 a.m. Eastern. And Tom calls it the sunrise signal because just by checking this one signal after the sun rises each morning, you can use it to target $250, $500, even $1,000 or more before the end of the day. For example, let's look back at the study from May 5th. Here's the sunrise signal lighting up like fireworks at 8 a.m. And as you'll see in just a moment, that was a surefire sign that stocks would trend higher all day long. So all anyone had to do was click a few buttons after the opening bell to place a quick trade, and then come back later to see a quick 25% return on MU. Now, let's say someone had invested $2,000 in that trade, and that's the stake we're going to be talking about with every example from here on, unless otherwise stated. That would have been enough to pay out a handsome $500, all by checking one signal before the opening bell. And they didn't have to wake up at the crack of dawn. Thank goodness. As I said, not my bag. They didn't have to stare at stock charts for a long time. They just needed to check one quick signal before the opening bell, wait a few minutes, and then place a trade. And that's it. It's not more complicated than that. And the beautiful thing is, while we almost always get an opportunity each day, some days we get more. Like that very same day, May 5th, the sunrise signal picked up on not one, not two, but actually three high-powered entries for us. The first one on that Micron example we just talked about, $500 in a few hours. The second one on GLD, which would have paid out $457 the same day. And the third one on QQQ, which could have paid folks $404 before dinner. All that from the one day of following the sunrise signal, the signal that fires before the markets even open. Anyone could have collected $1,362 with a few clicks of the button. For most folks, that's like adding an extra paycheck with just a few minutes work, all before your morning coffee even gets cold. Look at the steam still rising on that. Now, as great as that is, we've honestly only scratched the surface on what this sunrise signal is capable of. Because before the end of this briefing, my guest is going to reveal the real opening bell that most traders don't know about, how anyone can spot the sunrise signal before the markets open, the 30-minute no man's land that's killing your profits right now, the simple double confirmation step to help protect against market reversals, how we've made it quicker than ever to follow along with this sunrise signal by automating the whole thing, as he's already hinted at, and so much more. But first, I want to properly introduce the man you've already heard from this morning, today's legendary guest and the mastermind behind these groundbreaking sunrise signals. The man behind this breakthrough began his career during the 1970s. In 1992, he was one of only 50 professionals to be handpicked by the CME to receive his very own Globex terminal, which Tom says turned his career around at the time. So it's not a turning tech into your advantage in the market is not new to you, Tom. He even helped manage a firm so successfully that it was eventually bought out by the $7.9 trillion institution, Morgan Stanley. But this man's Wall Street legacy pales in comparison to what he's delivered for his students since he founded DTI back in 1996. Now, just hear some of the very best stories from traders who follow his top work. And now I've lost the screen again. Let me bring it back if I can rescue it real quick. Sorry about this, folks.
And
Um,
while you're doing that, I wanted to recognize we have a big crowd here of support. We got Louise, we got Karina, we got Dennis, we got Kevin, we got Martin, we got Nick, Carissa, and of course Kelly. So they're here to help you. If you got any questions, type it into the chat.
all right. Love
And
it.
Jonathan's here too.
Love it. I'm just going to share on this screen if I can because my horrible monitor betrayed me. There we go. And here we go. All right. Almost there. Try it again. Sorry about that, Tom. Technical difficulties. Fortunately, the sunrise signal is not going to give us any technical difficulties. So here we go. Some of the very best stories from Tom's top students here. Jim P. wrote in to tell us total of $2,600 or $2,060. A great way to start the month. Please pass along my thanks to Tom. And then there's Ken who said, I love its simplicity. A great tool to trade. Picked up an extra $3,200 today. And I love Manny O's story. Listen to this. Just to let you know that I've had my fifth win in trading, a 135% ROI. You're the greatest and most patient with me. Now, that's a student that'd been struggling, listening to other folks. He came to Tom and he found a way that worked for him. And Tom, Manny's story is not uncommon when folks work with you. Those are some of the best stories from students following along with none other than trading legend Tom Busby. You've seen him on Bloomberg, CNBC, CNN. He's written 3 books, one of which is very germane to what we're going to be talking about today. He's a living legend, and we're very thankful to have him here. So, Tom, thank you for being here today. Can you please tell us more about the sunrise signal and how you discovered it?
Stephen, I'd love to. And as I mentioned, my whole career has been based on this 24-hour market going back to the Globex days, which was really the forerunner to electronic trading. And I believe the 24-hour markets are the key to everything you see today. If you think about it, I wrote this book back in 2005. It was ahead of its time. It's come into play now with stocks trading around the clock. I got the time, so why not? Let's take advantage of it. And that's what we did with the technology here. In fact, the details will be shared with you. And I think that it's so important for you to learn this portion of the market.
Exactly.
You see, most people assume the trading day starts at 9:30 when the opening bell rings. And if I still ask that question to new traders, that's what they believe.
Mm-hmm.
The networks love to run their shows around it, and they throw a big party for it every day. If you think about it, the opening bell. But if you're only focused on what happens after the opening bell, you're actually missing the most important signal in the early market, in the entire market. Because the truth is, Wall Street's day doesn't start at 9:30 like most people assume. It starts much early. It starts at 8 a.m. That's the pre-market. And as soon as they fire on their computers and their first trades of the day, they send a signal to help tell us what direction is going to be, what stocks are going to move, and how to get in front of everybody else. That's the beautiful thing about it. And by following this signal, which hits every morning at 8 o'clock, we're able to hop in on some of the biggest bets once the market's open. They then ride it higher, sometimes all day long. And example, look at what happened on NVIDIA. A lot of people here, a lot of my students here made this trade on NVIDIA. It fired right on schedule on the sunrise signal at 8 o'clock, alerted me to get ready, waited for options to open 9:30, hour and a half later, set up. And it's really sort of neat to watch it happen if you look at it. That, folks, right there is what this is all about. I know you're out there thinking, can you do it? Of course you can. I've simplified all the homework, all the process. If you could, read long, short, or out, you could do the sunrise. Let's see it again on Micron. Y'all remember this trade back in April? Everybody was going crazy. The headlines were calling for economic doom as usual. That really didn't matter at all because once again, on April 24th, the sunrise signal fired right on time, 8 o'clock. Simply door to forecasters, follow the sunrise, and take in 2 minutes or less to set a quick trade. MU would head higher all day long, which it did, and it kept going for days and days and days, but $491 on that day in profits. Now, that ought to get your eyes open. Don't you want to have the odds in your favor? Each day, hundreds of Wall Street traders, pits, countless algorithms come online right at about 8 in the morning. Now look at the chart of the average volume in the early morning. Everybody see that? A little activity then. So the only ones there is the big institutions doing what we're talking, getting ahead of the crowd. And look what happens. Pre-market starts picking up, starts leaving the pack. And it shows up. It's pretty clear to see. But before most people are even paying attention, you don't have to be active at 8 to reap the rewards from early birds on Wall Street. You have to watch for the sunrise signal and place your trade somewhere in that first 30 minutes after the opening bell, especially if you use options, and you piggyback on the stock, you most likely send higher for the rest of the day. Now, I know you are out there thinking, hey, I'd like some of that. Well, you can have it now. Look at Palantir, April 24. Palantir was a stock that beat me up in 2023 or 2024. I could never get it down. But here in 2025, I'm getting my money back plus interest because back in April, we were in the midst of tear-off chaos and the markets had whipsawed like crazy the day before. VIX was still highly elevated, making it very difficult to predict what stocks would do next. But if you knew about a sunrise signal, which was a separator, that morning, markets were quiet. Volume on Palantir jumped like crazy right there at 8. And sure enough, surefire sign, they were waking up and starting their trading day with that stock. And when it did, the first thing we want to do is pile into it. And it stayed higher all day long. Look at that. Exactly what happened. That's the beautiful thing about technology. Anyone who jumped in on the side of the sunrise signal on the markets would have opened, could have made a quick 456 in a few hours. You see, Wall Street loves getting in early on some of their favorite stocks for all their research reports, all the stuff they send out to their customers. Now you will be there with them. Okay, that's because by starting their day at 8, they can trade after they have a chance to process overnight news from Asia, Europe, and all that. European trade desks are still open, and you know, most of the major U.S. economic news drops at 8:30, all times of Eastern time. And when Wall Street starts buying a stock in the pre-market, you'll often see that the stock can run higher all day long. Meaning anyone who can spot with the sunrise signal delivers it right to your doorstep. And again, very simple, get long. Simple language. Like with NVIDIA, again, on May 27th. Look at that. First day back from Memorial Day weekend that had left the markets reeling. Stock market was lower. Tariff fears on deck. How could anyone be confident the market would open higher? You got to know the process. Trust the process. Trust the sunrise. By checking the sunrise signal, of course, volume started jumping on NVIDIA right around 8, just like we think. Look what happened. The sunrise signal confirmed the stock was ready to move higher. What happened? It moved higher right after the markets opened. So you could do the stock, do the options. You got a couple of choices there. Simple, straightforward. Direction in your pocket, paying out a nice $474 to anyone who followed along.
Well, Tom, that's pretty impressive what you just showed us. On just those 2 sunrise signals, excuse me, any trader could have picked up an extra $930 in just 2 days. And someone who'd been twice as confident in what you're showing us here could have scored $1,860 before the weekend. Tom, that's enough to help folks finally spend the weekend how they want to, right? That'd cover the green fees almost anywhere for a weekend, or maybe even a joyride for 2 in the car of your dreams down the highway. It really doesn't matter how anyone spends the money. That's up to them. What matters is that folks could finally have had that flexibility that so many people are lacking right now, all thanks to the sunrise signal. And Tom, You're no stranger to showing folks these kinds of returns. Just hear some of these stories from top students in your other services. Laura P's been working with you for years. I've met Laura. She's great. Listening to Tom puts money in your pockets, even on those crazy days. Yesterday had 9 trades, all winners, a $2,200 profit. Or there's Denise W., who wrote, so far I've had only winning trades, but more important to me is how much I learn every time. And that really is the key. Thanks, Tom. And here's Bruce L., who put it simply, when I follow Tom, I make money. Tom is committed to helping you all the way through the trade. But Tom, this sunrise signal is something brand new that even Laura, Denise, and Bruce are going to be amazed by. You built it into your work in the past, but you've upgraded it. So tell us, can we make money on just any stock that Wall Street moves higher at 8 a.m.?
Of course not, Stephen. You got to have the qualifiers that we built all these years working in your favor. And that was not easy. You know, if it was, everybody would be making a killing off this early bird or early trade. Just part of the trading game. Let me remind folks right now, there's no system that's perfect. We've seen some great success in our research, but losses can and will happen. That's just part of the trading game. We talk about that all the time. Fortunately, you don't have to guess at the top stocks today. You just have to know what to look for. And more importantly, when to look for it. Timing is everything. Let's talk about the opening bell again. Everybody knows it opens. Okay, major players get started a lot earlier than you do, about 8 in the morning. At 9:30, the floodgates open across the entire market. People are crawling out of bed and they're buying this and buying that. But you're going to be buying this and that with a process. Not only are the vast majority of retail traders lining up to react to the overnight news, you got overnight trades that are going to be processed in the first 10 minutes of trading. There's also a flood of trades that happen. That surge creates the biggest volume spike of the entire day, and it dwarfs the volume at 8. That's it, the solution. There it is right there. The synthetic intraday QQQ volume, looking at it, you can see how it surges right there. A lot of times those surges pull you in if you're getting pulled into the wrong stock. You see the highs of some of these stocks. We've got a separator. That's the sunrise. It can ruin you if you're not careful. That's what you have to worry about. I call that the 30 minutes of no man's land. Because if you step right out into it, you're likely to get hurt. But you can see it in second chart. Volume starts dying off, things get back to reasonable, the trend starts, and that's what we're going for, right there. In over 40 years, I've only found only one way to navigate the no man's land successfully. Stay out of it. Don't get caught up in that mix. I told you about the overnight orders in the first 10 minutes. You know, it's what people were thinking yesterday. You're going to have to play that one out because while Wall Street might be wading through the chaos, quietly adding to the positions they started building at 8, there's no way of knowing it when the opening bell hurricane is still going strong. Fortunately, you don't have to wait long, though. Here's the key. Right after 10 o'clock, set your watch. Right after 10 o'clock, the dust starts to settle, the pack starts, the trend starts, and they continue their charge with these stocks. Look at that chart one more time. Avoid the chaos, time-wise, minimize it, and make your trade. Drops off quickly. That initial flood of trading activity dies down. You quickly see which positions from 8 are still trending higher. It's like playing bingo. You match it up, okay? The ones that made it through the madness, still going higher, are the ones that give us a shot to target these trades. And it's all computerized for you. You don't have to do what I had to do. You get to get it right there in front of you. That's what I love about it. For example, take another look at example NVIDIA. This one from May 6th. As always, see the pre-market volume strike right around 8, somewhere around there. It showed the signal. Check out what happens at the opening bell. Sucks you in, gets you out of it because you bought it early, but you know it's one of your ones you're looking at. It plays out, and then what are you going to do? Wait a half hour after 10 o'clock? Volume goes back to normal levels. There it is. And you know NVIDIA's one to run. That happened on Friday, by the way, or Thursday on NVIDIA. And that was a sure sign. That's exactly what happened the rest of the day. It closed at its high. That's exactly what happened the rest of the day. If you saw the sunrise signal, set it up. I don't know about you. I like playing when odds are in my favor. And what's that? You could have stacked another $500 on NVIDIA before quitting time, simply by waiting until you get confirmation after the opening bell. And trading the stocks that pass the test at 8 and 10, bingo. We're able to set ourselves up to target $500 or more than slam the laptop shut if you want to. Go do what you want to do. There's Palantir again on May 30th. Study shows a few winners on Palantir too. Now, you probably know it's been a wild year for Palantir stock, but late May was a bit of a rough patch. At the end of the month approach, Palantir suffered 3 straight days of going down, and MACD had crossed strongly into bear territory. To the naked eye, it didn't seem like a good day to go all in on the tech stock. But what did the sunrise say? Knew about it. In the early morning, the markets were dead quiet, and you had divergence. Right up at 8, when the volume started climbing fast, sunrise signal fired right when we expected to. It fired more than enough to tell us that Wall Street, shaking off the bad news, was bullish on Palantir at those prices for the day. Started off, you jumped in. After the spike, fell run, 30 minutes went by, the trend took fold. And what happened next? There it is, ready to rip and go higher. That's how good it is. That's how good it is, folks. And it sure did absolutely soar over the next hour. Look at that. Now, if you jumped in at the right time, I told you that time, you could have scored $500 on Palantir in over an hour. Now, Stephen, I know ours is sharp as a tack. Let me run through just one more quick example to show exactly how powerful the sunrise signal is. So let's look at AMD on May 23rd. And a lot of my students here, you made this trade, you remember? Now, AMD had a really rough start in 2025, sinking all year long and then getting hammered by tariff panic. In fact, the very morning NASDAQ published an article encouraged traders not to panic yet, despite an awful start to the year. It was sinking, telling you all the reasons. It didn't quite the storm until you guessed it. Right at 8 o'clock, set your watch, and volume immediately spiked at 8 a.m. sent AMD in reverse. Clear signal, sunrise would project the stock would move higher. Anyone who's seen it could have ignored the rest of the pre-market chaos. Turned out, continued to chop around in no man's land during that period. But at 10 o'clock, it became crystal clear, didn't it? Wall Street was back moving the stock. Stock rode higher all day long, one of its biggest days. Time collecting 508 in the process.
That's pretty incredible, Tom. I love the sunrise signal so far. Now, if my quick math is correct, those 3 trades you just showed us could have added up to about another $1,508 in added cash for folks. And Tom, each of those trades could have cashed in before lunchtime, which I really love. These are fast-moving stocks, not too fast, but they give you time to get in and get out and walk away with some serious playouts. Now, I'm impressed. But of course, I'm not surprised that you're once again showing your traders how to seize the chance for some quick cash from the stock market, because you made a career doing just that. Listen to some of these stories. Carlos G. from Texas said, "Good morning, Tom. 1 week ago, I bought a 25-cent option, and the next day it closed at 125. That was 5x my original investment. A lot of money very quickly." Bobby said, "The program's very amazing. I'm up over $2,000 today." And then there's Emmanuel O from New Mexico who said, "You're a great teacher, Tom. I made around $2,200 from one trade. Keep up the good work." Now, Tom, as much as I love these stories, I can't wait to hear from traders who follow your sunrise signals from now on. And heck, I'm almost tempted to quit my day job and focus on these signals each and every day.
Stephen, that's awful nice of you, because these sunrise signals can really be a game changer. And what I love about it, the technology serves it up to you. But I should be very clear. If you have a day job, don't quit it. Of course, there's nothing guaranteed with these sunrise signals. You should never risk more than you can afford to lose. And like any other strategy, there have been smaller wins and those that didn't work out along the way. But more importantly, you don't have to quit your day job to follow these signals. Because as you've seen time and time again, the setup's there. You only need a few minutes at a couple of times, key times each day to follow the sunrise signal.
That's a great point, Tom, and I'm sure a few folks will be relieved to hear I'm not giving up on my day job just yet, although maybe a few folks will be disappointed. But I have to ask, what's stopping folks from following the sunrise signal as soon as the markets open again, let's say on Monday?
Nothing. Nothing's stopping you from doing it, from jumping in on the next sunrise signal. We made it so simple to follow along. In fact, they can set their alarm at 8 o'clock each day, get to work looking for the best opportunities, but think about it. If you just wanted to track the S&P 500, there's 500 stocks you have to monitor at 8 every morning. See the manual work you got to do? But we got it with the technology working for us. I love it. And then again at 10, we're playing bingo, meaning you're spending hours in front of your computer that could have been spent sleeping in, doing the crossword, or even doing some exercise. That with that much to do, you might have missed winners that research found on stocks like, hey, Nvidia, QQQ, it's in play. MU in play. Now I can't blame you. I might not have seen them either if I was doing it all like I used to, but with technology, it makes a real game changer. Fortunately, I have a whole team of experts help me do this. It's not just me. The team has over a century of combined experience in the markets. They double check, cross check, and with the powerful software and our expert team, we're able to code a sunrise algo specifically designed to track these opportunities. And it's just not the manpower. We spent $500,000 to build a custom software that helps us do this and track these type signals. Turning hours of all that grueling, mind-numbing work each morning into a few clicks of the button. That's what I love about it, Stephen. Each morning, the algo scans the market for sunrise signals right at 8:10 a.m. That means we already know the stock. We're set to trade before the opening bell. Strongest signals get posted to the private Telegram channel with our members. There's no need to wake up early because the fun begins at 10. That's when opening bell chaos goes away, still trending higher, and we play bingo, I call it. Like with our study shows, y'all remember this stock, CRWV, back on May 2nd. We caught it. Traders could have spotted the sunrise signal, just read the update in our Telegram channel. And even though the markets opened hot that day, the 10 a.m. Central show there was still a lot of gas left in the tank. Our readers would have only had to check the alert shortly before 10. There it is right there. That's simple to read. Go back to that signal real quick. Let them see how simple that is.
Let me find it. There we go.
Look at that. Simple. Price. You know it's about this happening. There it is. From there, you climb almost 5% or more that day. Enough, another $483 to anyone following along on options. Nobody had to dig through 500 stocks. Nobody had to open a ton of charts. They just waited for that day's sunrise signal alert and placed the trade. You can do that. And they could have done it again on May the 27th because that day the sunrise signal fired on Tesla. And by 10 a.m., it was clear the momentum wasn't stopping. Here we go. There it is. Easy to read, easy to see. Right there, right on time, 10 o'clock. Perfect timing. It can continue to soar the rest of the day. Folks, those two there should convince you got to have this. And anyone who followed the alert could have been $492 richer by the end of that day.
Now, Tom, I know for a fact you've let a very small group of your top students beta test the Sunrise algo already. In fact, a few of your students have already sent in love letters to your team, and listen to these. These are incredible. Bob says, I love the Sunrise trade service. It gives me the biggest bang for my buck on any service out there. And T says, it's like getting a personal meeting with Tom early in the morning. The Sunrise signal and a cup of coffee are all I need to start my day. And Tom, with everything you've shown us today, it's no surprise that your traders love what you're giving them here, but The last I heard, the Sunrise Signal was a closed and reserved beta for only your elite members. So how long do the rest of us have to wait to get access to this thing?
We're going to take it live. The beta is going live on Monday. Okay. That's simple. But I want to say something. I think the Sunrise Signal has always been important. It's never been more important than it is right now. You probably don't need me to tell you that the markets are driven by news more than ever. And in fact, according to the Financial Times, automatic trading systems now dominate market volume with new news reading algos reacting to headlines as little as 300 microseconds. That's how fast it happens. And when you do that, when do those algos fire off? Right around 8 o'clock in the morning. So you walk away with the time, and if you're not paying attention to the Sunrise Signal right now, you probably are, your eyes are being opened. You honestly don't have a prayer keeping up with Wall Street with these algorithms out there, let alone the algos that power them. By simply following this one signal each morning, you'll be miles ahead of the average Joes out there and ready to target $250, $500, even $1,000 before the opening bell rings, waiting for that kickoff, just like I'm going to show my traders how to do every day. And for that reason, I'm going to do something I didn't expect to happen for months yet, because you're right, Stephen. The Sunrise Signal beta test is closed, and it was supposed to stay that way a lot longer. But over the last few weeks, our team dropped everything into folks, getting it ready for immediate release. And today, I'm happy to say we met our goal. We're able to open the doors months ahead of schedule. I'm thrilled to invite just 100 people here can join me inside our brand new trading service, Sunrise Signals. This is the only algorithm monitoring the Sunrise Signal designed to help traders target this each and every day before most people know what's happening. You will know, and each and every trade alert is generated in real time, sent directly to our readers wherever they are, whatever they're doing. That's what I love about it, because the moment you join us today, you'll be invited to get set up and be ready to go. Our exclusive members only Telegram channel we designed for this. You never have to search for alerts. You'll never have to dig through our spam or email or anything else. That comes directly to you. You're ready to go. And each day you'll get the full Sunrise Signal experience right inside that Telegram channel. It will all be inside your private channel. Starts about 8 in the morning with the Sunrise Signal. Each morning, our algorithm will send you a list of the stocks firing. You won't have to lift a finger, just scan the list anytime before 10, and you'll have the hottest opportunities right there in front of you. Just what would have happened back on June the 11th. That morning, the algo told us to go long on Palantir, easy to see. And anyone who followed the process and placed a quick trade after 10 on that day could have scored a big $484 winner. But you wouldn't have had to guess at 10 what stock out of the 500 would be there. It was Palantir. It was still a good trade. Our algo powered it. We runs another scan right at 10, and only the cream of the crops delivered to you to meet the ideal criteria. And when they do, we'll send out the live entry alert directly to you on the go, giving you the entry price, profit target, and stop loss, even information for selecting the options, right in the palm of your hand, just like what would have happened the very next day. The alert would have come to your phone with explicit instructions. This was on MU, where the price was. You got the ticker, you got the entry, you got the exit, and you got where you're wrong. Right there, if you want to do options. Your target, all you need. Where you're wrong, always there. And even your rules on how long to hold the trade. It's all in there, which would have made following instructions on MU a piece of cake. And it was a very tasty cake, I might add, okay? So you could have tapped a few buttons when the alert came to your phone at 10, spend your time whatever else you wanted to do. Maybe invite some friends over for a casual breakfast, or taking the dogs out for a quick stroll, or even played a few rounds of tennis. Only to come back a few hours later when things worked out and find a nice big winner on MU, scoring $476 in a few hours.
Tom, that's more than impressive, honestly. It's pretty
And
mind.
it's simple, Stephen. It's
And it's
simple.
simple. It's very easy to follow. And I mean, if someone had put just 5,000 bucks into each of those two trades, which happened back to back days, they'd be sitting on $2,401 with just a few minutes work. But Tom, I have to ask, some of those are quick moving trades. So wouldn't you need to be glued to your computer, glued to your phone, watching them as closely as possible to make sure they turn out as winners?
Absolutely not. We teach a master class on the steps that people need to do on entering the sunrise signal. A little trick to make sure that when it work out, these trades close automatically without breaking a sweat. I call it the profit lock technique. And it's a busy trader's absolute best friend, because with just a few quick steps, anytime you place a trade, you can have a peace of mind knowing that the stock hits the target, your gains will be locked in. And as a member, you'll unlock a free PDF telling you exactly how to use the profit lock on every trade.
Tom, I've actually used the profit lock a few times myself, and it's saved me more than once. I've won
Yeah,
trades.
that's a common mistake, Steve. People get in trades and they don't know what they're going to do with it. Well,
Yeah,
we tell them right up front, this is where it should go, this is where you should exit, and this is what you should do. So there's no mystery here.
yeah,
Winning
absolutely.
trades,
I've,
while I was, maybe in a business meeting. In fact, it happened for me on Apple on Friday or
you
Thursday. I
know,
keep saying Friday, but Thursday.
I won
Apple.
one while I was watching a soccer game. I even won one time driving through a thunderstorm. And I think folks are absolutely going to love the profit lock. But let me ask you another question, Tom. Do I need to be some sort of options expert or genius to get the most out of sunrise signals?
Let's just stop right there. I've been trading options for so long. I've thrown out all the stuff that confuse you and keep you directly on point. What you need to know: entry, target, and exit. We keep it simple. The answer is no. The Sunrise Signal is a fantastic program powered by the technology we're using for beginners or experienced traders alike. Yeah, it's people that really want to succeed. Of course, you can always trade the underlying stock if you prefer. I do that sometimes, but if you're ready to start your option trading journey, we got you covered there too. Because the team at DTI has built what I believe is the ultimate options education course. I call it Options Made Simple. Combining over 100 years of experience and expertise with every option strategy under the sun, our team created this condensed video course to take you from a rookie level to a veteran level in no time. And it's already waiting inside your members area. You can study up over the weekend, be ready to go come Monday. But I'm not stopping there, Stephen, either. I'll also be hosting a brand new live masterclass on the sunrise. I want everybody that joins to start off strong. I got a record to protect. I want to make sure you don't make stupid mistakes. We'll go through it. Each and every student who joins Sunrise today is invited to join us absolutely free for that. We'll cover the origins of the sunrise signal, how you can find it on your own if you want to, how to place the trades, how to follow along going in on Telegram, and so much, much more. With the primary goal, keeping it simple. Think of it like your live blueprint for getting the most out of your new membership.
I love it, Tom. And I know you've charged $497 or more for classes like that in the past, and they've absolutely been worth every penny. Education is really where DTI shines, even as great as everything you program and build is. Just hear some of the top stories from students who have attended your classes in the past. Barbara wrote in, your trading this morning was extremely helpful. Thank you for all your time and teaching and training. Very much appreciated. Paulie shouted you out. He said, thank you, T-Buzz. This is great training that allows me to stay focused on the market targets. And then
And what makes Polly a little interesting, let me stop you, Stephen. He's a new person that's just learning, And he's so excited and happy because he's not lost.
Yep, I love that. I absolutely love that. And Oscar's story, the train and trade sessions you've been having have been priceless with the education presented are worth the time in gold. Thanks for all the hard work you've put into providing this education for us, Tom. Now, Tom, I've been there at your classes. I've seen people break down in tears because of how thankful they are about what you've been able to teach them and show them in the market. So I don't have a crystal ball, but I bet the Sunrise Masterclass is more than worth the cost of admission alone. Speaking of which, though, Tom, I have to ask, what is this going to cost, folks? Because, I mean, just a few minutes ago, you showed us two trades that could have paid out $2,400 in a matter of days. But members will get access to every Sunrise signal the algorithm spots right inside the Telegram channel. That could add up to hundreds of alerts over a single year. So what's it going to cost? I mean, 5,000, 39.97. What are we talking about here?
Stephen, I don't think about what it's gonna cost. I think about what it's gonna make. Okay,
Mhm.
and I agree that access to the Sunrise signal is worth a lot, but folks should breathe a little easier today because I revealed today's price. Though there's one more big surprise I want to show folks. A few years back, Roger Scott and I joined forces to teach folks the Daybreak Master Class. At the time, we were focused on trading in the pre-market. We offered a 4-week class at a rock bottom price of $295. Now, be clear, you won't need to trade the pre-market to make the most out of Sunrise signals, but the techniques we taught in the Daybreak class could give you a huge advantage in understanding the Sunrise signal. And today, we'll offer the recording of that class free as soon as you join.
Wow.
Be yours forever as a thank you for joining Sunrise.
Wow, Tom, I wasn't expecting that. I remember Daybreak Masterclass, and it was incredibly helpful to me to help me understand what makes stocks move before and even after the opening bell. I can't believe that you're now including that for free for every new member of Sunrise Signals. So, I mean, with that now included, that's another 295 bucks of value for absolutely free. What is it going to cost? I can't even begin to think of a fair price to unlock all of this. So why don't you walk us through it?
Sure. Stephen, you mentioned earlier that these two most recent trades from our study produced over $2,401 in a few days with a couple clicks of a button. So initially, I thought $2,400 was a fair price for 1 year of Sunrise. After all, we're talking about the potential for about 100 alerts plus a year. But I know times are tight right now, so I wouldn't want a price to be a barrier for entry in absolutely anyone. So I've cooked up some special bonuses I think everyone here is really going to love. Listen up. First, I want to cut the price nearly in half with a $1,000 founder's discount. Immediately dropping the price of first Sunrise signal down to $1,401, but not stopping there. We're going to go further. I'm proud of our track record we built. You saw some of it. We win nearly 4 out of 5 trades historically. And with the tight stop losses, our losses average about 30%. If each winner has been capable of delivering $250 for every $1,000 invested, that's 25% if you do the math. And with all that said, my favorite feature is now how affordably Sunrise signals are. Because our study, the average trade has cost just about $302 to enter.
Yeah, that is low. I love that.
And that brings me to my last bonus. Listen up. I want to go ahead and sponsor you for your very first trade with the Sunrise signal, the first of many successful trades we hope in the future. Meaning I'll immediately knock off another $302 off the price of your new membership, bringing the total price down to $1,099 in your first year. So here we are. We're going to drop the link in about 20 seconds. Remember, we're only going to take 100. It's time to choose. Keep running headlong into the teeth of algorithms dominating Wall Street, not knowing where you're coming or going, or follow these trades each morning in the Sunrise signal. Now it's time to make a decision. I call it chicken, fish, or steak. Go to dtitrader.com/sunrise. Or you can call 904-706-3532 to talk to one of those great helpers we got here today. Talk to our experts. Go to dtitrader.com/sunrise. The holiday discount's in effect. Claim your special Founders Day discount right now. And folks, if that price got you excited, this is about to knock your socks off. Because in honor of today's big holiday, one more insane discount limited to this weekend only. If you join immediately, your membership will be upgraded to a 2-year membership at no additional charges.
Wow, that is
Wow.
cool.
That's right. An extra year on the house just to celebrate Independence Day together. Because as I've said, I do believe that today will be a major turning point in the markets. And I want you to take full advantage with 2 years of the sunrise signal. But I have to stress, limited time offer.
Tom, that is amazing. That is some fireworks early on 4th of July, long before sunrise or sunset, excuse me. We've been saying sunrise so much. I can't believe you're doing that. A second year for free. So $10.99 for just 10.99 for 2 years of sunrise signals. This brand new service, folks.
They're coming in already, Steve. I don't think the 100's going to last.
That's right. I don't believe they will. dtitrader.com/sunrise. You can click the link in the chat or call 904-706-3532. We have an incredible team of folks who have given up time on their holiday. We're really thankful for them. Thanks to Caitlin and the team who are doing that right now, because there's a lot of folks giving their time to make sure your questions are answered. So please don't hesitate to give them a call to 904-706-3532. Tom, I'm really blown away, and what you've put together is absolutely incredible. I can't believe you just made it even better. Doubling people's access for their first year is now 2 years for just $10.99. I can't wait to hear stories from the first folks who are joining Sunrise Signals as we speak. Stories like these from top students in your other flagship services. You have Wayne right in. Here is no one in this business that does a better job of teaching the ins and outs of the market. He cares about your success. There is no one that does it better than Tom, and I really believe that. Excuse me, this name must not have been changed. A different story. Have been a client of T-Buzz right now since November. This week I was up $6,000. Tom and his team will teach you how to make money and not make mistakes. And SP put it very simply, Tom Busby is one of the best timing traders I know, and I'm glad to be learning from him. Hopefully several of our listeners here today will be the next to share a story like that, Tom, with the sunrise signal. I'm absolutely sure they will be. But as Tom said, it all starts with a decision, chicken, fish, or steak. As I have started saying from him, Tom, I've stolen that expression from you. So go to dtitrader.com/sunrise or call 904-706-3532 to claim your special founders discount today. Tom, unbelievable what you put together here. I can't absolutely believe it.
Hey, remember, folks, the sunrise signal is the only way I know of which stocks Wall Street is most likely piling into the pre-market. Too much work to get it any other way other than have the technology work for us, showing us opportunities you might never see otherwise. Like, remember our example back on Palantir from May 30th? At the end of the month approach, Palantir suffered 3 straight losses. MACD had crossed into bear territory. To naked eye, it didn't seem like a good day to go all in on that tech stock, unless you knew about the sunrise signal. Here we go. Early morning, markets were dead quiet. Around 8 o'clock, volume started climbing fast. Sunrise signal fired right when we expected to. Turned bullish at the right time. And look what happened next. Jumped in where you needed to be at the right time. Very important to know this timing. But over the same time frame, volume cooled down. Palantir was ready to rip. Had a high confidence stock would jump from there. Off we went the next hour. Timing. Scored at least $500 on Palantir in over an hour. Folks, that's good.
In just over an hour is pretty darn good. And Tom, as you said, you can scale that up, you can scale that down. $1,000, $250. The average trade is $302. So really incredible stuff. So make sure you go to dtitrader.com/sunrise. I'm sure David has dropped that link in the chat, or you call the team 904-706-3532. Tom, I do want to dive into the chat in a minute. It looks like we've got a lot of questions. But first, let me ask you some of the most common questions I expect we'll hear. If you don't mind, it's bothering me that I spelled that wrong, so let's fix that. All right, let's dive into the most common questions we'll hear. How much do I need to get started today?
Average trade's going to cost you about $300 a contract. If you do the options, I'd recommend having at least 2,000 of capital to do these trades, and you're never risking it all on one trade.
Do I need to be an options expert to make this work?
Already explained that. No, you don't. A simple approach to trade the underlying direction. You have access to the training will help you navigate through the world of options by being in the sunrise signal.
Well, how many trades are there going to be in a year then, Tom?
At least 100 or more.
That makes sense. Yeah, I mean, it's valuing them on their own. Are we risking big 100% losses here if trades go against us?
No. Well, nothing is guaranteed in the market. DTI has always believed in cutting your losses, and this is no exception. Average loser from our study has been around 30%. We got tight stop rules with time with every trade we place.
Tom, that's one of the things I love about you and your approach. You don't hang on to something that's not losing. You cut your losses and move on. Does the sunrise signal work on any stock?
This is the beauty. It does. The reason you've seen a short list of stocks today is because we focused on strong trending stocks to begin with, but we're never fighting against the overall market. It's just another way we help build a 77% win rate on sunrise signals.
I love that. So you're picking the best of the best only to start with and then diving deeper even from there. Is there any kind of guarantee folks can have with this service?
You got 14 days to try it out, get in Telegram, attend the training, do everything. We'll open it up for you. If not satisfied, of course, we'll refund every penny of your membership cost.
What if I want extra help?
Yeah, incredible customer service team hosts customer service live every Monday through Friday, 10 to 1, get your questions answered. If they can't answer, we'll answer it in the background. As a member, you get free access to that.
I love that. And how about our first trade? When's that going to drop?
Well, can you say July 7th? Monday?
As soon as Monday. Can't wait. So folks, Tom, I know you've got one more little surprise you want to show folks here. We'll get to that in just a second. Then we'll get to all David's questions. First and foremost, though, dtitrader.com/sunrise or give the team a call, 904-706-3532. You really want to be a part of this. Join Sunrise Signals today. You've got to be in this. I can't wait for that first Sunrise Signal on Monday. So Tom, you've got a surprise bonus for us. Why don't you tell us about that? And then we'll let David give us the questions from the chat here.
Well, here's my thinking. You saw what I've done in May. You saw what I've done in June. You saw how I'm doing in July. I said, what a better way to kick off the sunrise signal with me helping. And I will do 5 trades. If you do the math on the 5 trades, then everybody at the end of the month, if we do everything we're supposed to do, maybe we're on scholarship, which means we show you how to take the uneducated's money and put it in your pocket. And that's the idea. So I'm going to do 5 trades right inside this room over the course of the month. So that keeps it cooking, as we say in the South, with gas.
I love it, Tom. Going to be a lot of cooking with gas here on July 4th, so we're looking forward to that. And Tom, like you said, you made a tradition at DTI of giving people scholarships, which means paying off the membership fees with just your first couple trades. Looks like you're trying to do that again. 25%, you average that on the winners. You only need 4 or 5 of those at $1,000 to get a scholarship for this. So folks, one more time, dtitrader.com/sunrise or call 904-706-3532. I say one more time, but the truth is we're going to say that a lot more times because we really want you to do it. We really believe in this. It's something incredible Tom's put together. So sorry for banging that drum, but you're here. We want you to be a part of it. You've taken time out of your July 4th to hear about this, and Tom's put on this incredible Independence Day sale for you. So get your second year free right now at dtitrader.com/sunrise. David, thank you for jumping back in here. I have not taken 1 second to look at the chat other than that I saw there were a bunch, which is exciting. So how are we looking? What's going on out there?
Yeah, it's a flurry of messages, questions and compliments, which are always my two favorite
Those are the
things, right?
best ones. Yeah,
Two
that's what I
favorite things. Yeah,
love.
hundreds of people in here sending messages. Some already grabbed the 2 year. Some have already upgraded to the lifetime. We have a lot of people grabbing these memberships.
Oh, we
So,
love it.
folks, if you are looking to get into the program, you're definitely going to want to take one of those spots as soon as possible. If you're trying to get in on the phones and you're having trouble getting through, we do have a good number of people on for a holiday today. I think we have like eight sales reps, 10 sales reps
Yeah.
on right now. But if you're having trouble getting through on the phone and you want us to call you and you want to reserve your spot, you can put your name and phone number in the chat, and we will make sure to hold the spot for you and have somebody call you as soon as the inbound calls die down. So if you
Caitlin,
don't want to order online, which is the fastest, easiest way to do it, but if you want to speak to somebody and you still have questions or you have some payment related things you want to talk about, put your name and phone number in the chat, and we will make sure to get somebody reach out to you instead of you having to fight all the other people trying to get in touch with us. So one of the common questions so far has been, and I know we answered it in the FAQ, but just to kind of go over it real quick, the examples were based on $2,000 for most of the examples as far as what the profits were, but people don't need to put $2,000 on every trade.
absolutely not.
So I said that as a statement, but I'm going to throw it as a question. It's only about $300 minimum on most of the trades, right?
Right.
Yeah. And
Okay.
that'd just be the options, right, Tom? So if you just
Yeah, that's
wanted
the
to buy
option. So,
stock,
you
you
know,
could
and you can do it a
go even
couple ways.
cheaper.
There's a lot of strategies. We'll cover that in the master class. You know, sometimes people have places they got to go and people to see, and we got strategies for that too on a good stock, for example. Okay, where you take the money and go into the stock, maybe on a slice of it or whatever. It's got a great signal. Okay, so you got a lot of choices. We'll cover it. I won't leave you hanging. I can promise you that. I will not leave you hanging. Not when it comes to putting money at risk in the market.
No, that's true. Tom's the best at that.
Now, a couple of people have asked about day trading rules. We're holding these for a few days, right? So, like, we don't really
Yeah,
have to
but
worry
but
about day
the
trading.
beautiful thing about that, I have a whole program that deals with that, and I'll cover that in the master class also. That's one of the stupidest rules, in my opinion, that I've ever saw the industry pass in 2007. I'm working right now with some industry people to try to get it removed. We'll see if it happens, but I've got ways around it, and I'll tell you the ways around it during the master class. A lot of different choices you have. We'll
Awesome.
Real
teach you.
Real
Awesome.
quick, David, if I can jump in, I
Yeah,
want to
go
shout
for it.
out. We've got Carissa, Jeffrey, Kevin, Chad, Dennis, Kelly, Victor, Martin, Nick, and Corinna all on the phone today, plus Caitlin on the webinar here with us today. So
And thank
all of those
all of y'all
folks,
for being here on July the 4th.
yeah,
I mean, people know how important it is, this date is. We've done it for 24 years. And, you know, we're serious about trading, obviously, correct? And if you have ever wondered, you've seen posted on CNBC, on the financial networks, these stocks in the pre-market, and I call them for the fish to bite. Those are the ways you lose money looking at those. If you got the sunrise signal, you can have the separator, and you know exactly which stocks really have the meat. Okay. I'm not selling
Absolutely.
hamburgers. I'm talking about the meat of the stocks.
Well, hamburgers are good too. I mean, you could do
Yeah,
both. You could
hamburgers
trade
are
stocks
good to
while
talk
eating a
about on the day
hamburger.
also, right?
Yeah, yeah. If I couldn't do other things while I was eating, I would have gotten most things not done in my whole life, right? Uh, all right. We just got a message from Edwin, said he's been with you for over 15 years, Tom, and with all the programs that he has, they've all paid for themselves within a few months. So people shouldn't procrastinate. Get this today. Thanks, Edwin. We appreciate the
we
support
love Ed.
and the shout out.
Awesome. Glad you're here.
So now a couple of people have asked what kinds of trades are these complex spread trades? Do they need special permissions or anything like that? No, these are simple calls and puts, but people obviously can use their own discretion to trade it however they prefer, right?
Yeah, you know, there's different levels that you can do. And one of the things that if you need help there, ask me during the master class. It depends on who broker you're using. A lot of brokers have some really obstacles for people, and other brokers don't. I'll give you the ones that I know that I use that are pretty helpful for people that are new. Okay.
One
And so we'll be glad to help you in that area also.
One thing I love about this too, David, I've gotten to look a peek behind the screens and help kind of set up this Telegram channel for folks that Tom's built. what I love about it is it does give folks all the info. It doesn't give them info overload, but it gives them the stocks, the hot stocks they're watching that day, long or short, bullish or bearish. And then it gives them the clear entries on the ones that Tom and his team are recommending. But there's more options out there if folks want to follow them. So it's an algorithm. It's giving you the power right in the palm of your hands. You don't have to do the legwork, and then you can take it from there. And I absolutely love that, Tom. It's really incredible what you've built.
Awesome. Awesome stuff. A few people have asked when the master class will be. Do we have a date for that yet?
Yeah, we'll do it this Monday, okay? This Monday, and we'll do it at 10 o'clock this Monday.
Perfect. Love it.
All right, Monday, 10 a.m. Eastern time. I know everyone's going to say, is that Eastern? Yes. All the times are Eastern.
Yeah,
All the
10
times are
o'clock Eastern. You get notification. Also, I'll tell people, be sure to attend the master class because there's going to be something I do really special for everybody that's there. So try to be there at 10 o'clock Monday.
But if for some reason people can't make it, I'm sure going to record it. It'll be available in the members area. So
Absolutely.
if you just can't be there, don't sweat it too much. We will make sure that
And
we
I might
record
be
it.
more than one day because I tend to overachieve in that area because questions come up after a week or so. Say I need to have another master class. You know, I love helping people understand the power of what we're talking about today. And once you see it firsthand, you know, it probably won't mean a lot to you other than you'll make the trade. But once you start seeing what it can do for you to help you achieve your goals in your own personal account, then you really get involved because then you say, I need to learn more. There's other things I can do also. A lot of people are typing their names. I think we're approaching that 100. I hope we get a few spots left.
We've definitely had a bunch.
People that said they couldn't make it, they're going to try to watch it later.
We definitely had a bunch of people come through with purchases online, and the phone lines are definitely very busy right now. So definitely getting close to that number, or at least working our way toward it. So with the fact that there are, days where maybe we don't get that confirmation, right? That confirmation goes the other way, and it's going one way at 8 a.m., it's going the other way at 10 a.m. Maybe there's some days we won't get a trade, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I know people, I keep using the analogy of bingo. If you ever played bingo, and who's here has ever played bingo? Okay. Nothing is more exciting than have a match. Okay. The same thing with this sunrise. If you get a match, then you got the process working for you. Sometimes you don't get a match in bingo. And that's the same thing. Sometimes you don't get a match in sunrise.
You never fight in the markets though, Tom, and that's another part of this that I love. You're letting
Rob says, I had to call. I didn't want to take a chance of the computer keeping me out. I called and signed up. Way to go, Rob.
love it.
Great. Well, folks, when you do sign up, you'll get an email within a few minutes with a link to the members area. Inside the members area, which is a platform we call One Click Trading. So if you see One Click Trading, that's regarding this, and it'll say welcome to the Sunrise Signals. Once you get into that members area, you will immediately have access to a number of the materials that you see on the screen as far as the education and the training and things like that. You can start that now so that come Monday, when that first signal comes out at 8 a.m. on Monday, you will already know what's going on. You'll be familiar with it. This is really a great, great day to get into this because not only is it a weekend, but it's like a 3-day weekend. It's a holiday weekend, so you have extra time. If you get in on a Friday today with the markets closed, you've got 3 days to go through the materials that are in the members area, understand what's going on here, and then you'll be ready for Monday. I always love doing these, late on a Friday or more, even more so on a Saturday. But today's even better because it's a 3-day weekend. It's like a Saturday, Saturday A before Saturday B, and people get all this extra time to do this and learn it before they expect themselves to be able to use it.
Yeah, and let me clear up something. We didn't cover it, but we trade what the market tells us to trade. And I say that if the market is going down and matches to the downside, we'll trade the puts also. Okay. Just, I trade both ways. So just put that out there. Okay.
Yeah, the idea is that we want to see 10 o'clock mimic what was 8 o'clock, whether it's up or down, right?
Right.
Yeah.
If I may, real quick, David, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Well, you shouldn't cut me off, Stephen, but go ahead.
I apologize. I just wanted to shout out a few folks who have just joined. Janet, David, We've got Glenn. Claire is in. Looks like, let's see, Pamela is in. Rob is in. Dan is in. I love shouting out folks who have made a great decision because we all should be celebrated for great decisions. I know I don't make them often enough to let a chance go by. I'm sure our readers are having a better success rate than me, but we've got Guillermo, Allison, Margot, David. So welcome into all of you. Ayad. I could read a ton of names here. Iris, I'm sure we are close. Pearl to that hundred number. But thank you all for being in. Congratulations, because you're really going to start a journey here with Tom that's going to be something special. David, back to you. I apologize.
Absolutely. So yeah, the fact that we do go to the long and the short side, but we're just buying regular calls or regular puts. You can get into these trades. Uh, they're very simple to execute. The alert that comes out gives you everything you need, not only to get in the trade, but also to get out of it either way it goes. So you're getting your profit target, so you know when to get out of it. If we're making money, you've got a stop loss, so you know when to get out of it if it goes against us, and limit our losses, which is really great, which means you can put these in at around 10 o'clock in the morning, and then you really don't have to do anything else. You just let them ride. And that is about as carefree as you can get with trading, is a couple of minutes at 8, a couple of minutes at 10, and really you really don't even have to be there at 8. You can wake up at 9:58 and do this program, and that's what's really cool about it. So really, really great opportunity for people who don't have a ton of time to sit there and watch the market all day and wait for, a price to change to get out of it, wait for that exit alert. Nope, you don't have to do that. You can just get in at 10 o'clock in the morning and put in a couple of clicks, and you're good to go. So really fun, really cool stuff. I think those are most of the questions that we had here. We did have a few questions about how this is different from Genesis, which I answered in the chat, but I don't know if you want to address that, Tom. Just kind of how this and
I
Genesis
saw
kind
the
of
answer in the
complement each
chat
other.
was perfect. Genesis is a technology driven signal also. The beautiful thing about having sunrise in Genesis, if you get a continuation in Genesis, just hold the baby and let it run. That changes your whole profit perspective when that happens. And so the same concept, we're letting the technology do all the work. And then the different times of day have different, different elements that make the signal fire or not fire. And that's the beauty of it. Okay.
Awesome. Let's see. A couple more questions coming in before you go. Is there a choice of call trades versus puts? Well, the alert. So the we're buying. We're buying to open in all the cases, right, Tom? So it's like if
Right.
if the 8 a.m. and the 10 a.m. show that we're going to the high side, then we're going to be buying calls. If they both show we're going to the low side, we're going to be buying
Yeah.
puts.
And folks, it comes 10 minutes after the half hour. So 8:10 in the morning and 10:10 are the real key times that you got to pay attention. I said 10 and 9 in the presentation, or 10 and 8 in the presentation, because that was my initial way I started. Then I figured out by going 10 minutes after the half hour, we had better results, just because it gets the fluff out of the trade.
And people will get these alerts on Telegram. So for
Right.
anybody who isn't already in Telegram, isn't familiar with it, that's just a communications, a messaging program you can put on your computer, your tablet, your phone, and it gives you instant messages from Tom's team. So you don't have to worry about delays in email or spam filtering or junk mail. You don't have to worry about text messages and all that. You get it right away on Telegram. But if they get it at 10:10 and they're not immediately available, how long do they have to get into these, Tom?
As long as you get in at the price that we designate or around that price, it's not perfect because you're talking about a $3 option. So, you do the math on it. If you're already at your target that's set on the $3 option, of course you don't want to take the trade. But if you're maybe, a few cents off the price, yeah, if you got enough room to dance, the way I
Yeah,
call it,
if
okay.
I, if I
But
can
sometimes
real
you don't
quick,
want to take the dance floor if it's so fast that you can't get it. There'll be another one tomorrow.
Yeah,
if I
that's the
can
thing.
real
Don't
quick,
chase
I
the
can
trade, right?
show that trade alert if I can find it up here
I
somewhere.
can, I can grab it if you want.
I've just found it. So if you look here, you've got the symbol, you've got the current price, then you've got a pretty wide range here where you can get it in an option. So what Tom's saying is you don't have to be right on the money. If you get in anywhere in here, you're good to go. So yeah, obviously if that spikes up to $5 on the option, you don't want to jump into that one. You want to wait for the next one. But it's not a thing where you have to wait to be in an exact dollar amount or exact down to the penny. You've got some range there, and then simple targets, simple hold time. Everything's really laid out for you. So it's really just as plug and play as it can get. Tom, I think this is perfect for beginners because they're getting the education with it too. That's another key thing here. So if you've never done
Right, the
options
education's
before,
important. The other thing that I would tell people is, people don't use these tools, but Amazon's got a Alexa. Everybody knows what Alexa is, right? If you go
Sure.
into one of these trades, if if you go into one of these trades, what you can do is say, remind me on this date for this trade, and it'll come back and remind you if you forget about it. So that's the nice thing about it. I use it all the time. You heard it in the
yeah, I love
background when I said that word I wasn't supposed to say.
that. She always gets you. She's always
Yeah, she
listening.
wanted to jump into the act.
All right. So someone asked if you mentioned at the beginning of the webinar that you're looking at July 21st as kind of the key day, give or take, that things are going to kind of kick off if the numbers go as expected. Uh, is there a difference in how to use this between now and then after the 21st, or is it pretty much
Well,
all taken into
obviously, if
consideration
I'm
in
right
one
about
movie?
my July 21st date, this even gets better and better and better. That's why we limited it to 100 folks, because we know by the 21st of July, we won't be able to sell it this cheap. So that's why we limit it. So by getting in, taking this deal on this holiday here, you're saving a bunch of money, because this is a great tool to have in your toolkit when you're trying to make successful trades, have an edge on that trading. And so, in answer to your question, it just gets better and better. But then it's good now. It gets great after the 21st, if I'm right. Hope that got your answer, Skip.
All right. We have a question here about can people upgrade to VIP later? So yes, you'll always be able to upgrade to VIP. I don't think we've ever taken a VIP off the market, but the difference will be the price. So the prices that we have here right now are very special prices for this holiday weekend and this initial. Today is the world premiere of this Sunrise Signal program. So they're the lowest prices that we expect them to ever be. After the weekend, starting Monday, that 2 year price will be gone. And I don't know what the price for the VIP will be going forward. So there's no pressure to take the VIP. By all means, buy the 2 years for the price of 1 year. Now get in for the 2 years, see how the program works for you. Hopefully make money on the program and use that money to buy the VIP later if you want. It just may cost you more for the VIP when you go to buy it than it will
Yeah.
if you buy it now.
Hey, somebody asked a great question. Are you going to have a replay of this today?
Yeah, absolutely. So if people want to see a replay of this presentation, put your name and email address in the chat, and we will send a link out to you with a link to the replay. We also have another live presentation of the replay happening later today. So
You know
4
what
p.m.
time you're having that?
4 p.m. Eastern time today. So if you want us to email you a link of the replay, you can put your name and email address in the chat. If you want to see the replay, there is a link for that as well, which let me grab that link real quick. For I'll drop that in the chat to attend like a live replay. So I'll be live on the air playing the replay for everybody at 4 p.m. Eastern time today. And so let me put that in the chat. Replay 4 p.m. Eastern
While,
today.
while you're doing that, David, let me
Yeah.
shout out. Benjamin got in. Richard has joined us. Keith is in. Steve Miller is in. Welcome in, Steve. Glad you're here. Bill, thank you for joining us. Robert and Bob, welcome. Barry, Barbara, a lot of folks here. Another Stephen, a lot of Stevens, several Davids. It's a good morning when you've got Stevens and Davids and Toms all joining.
We might have had a father and son team. We might have had a Joe, and a Joey.
There we go. I love it. It's a good team, a good group of folks. We love to see it. I haven't even been able to check the overall numbers yet because we've got so many questions, but I'm sure we're getting close to that cutoff date. So,
I
make
want
sure.
to thank everybody. David, You're just magnificent, Stephen. Great job, and all the salespeople that are here. Thank you for coming today. I hope that you get some great customers, and I hope they not only do this but do other things, because we're on a roll this second half of the year. You got to be part of it. This is the first step to be part of what we're going to have a great year. You can definitely
Well,
be part of it.
Tom, Tom, we want to thank you and we want to release you too because I know you've got your holiday, but thank you for being here. We know July 4th is a big day for you every year. This is pretty incredible. I'm going to stay on a few minutes with David, help answer some more questions. I think, David, I'll probably let you take over the screen share if you don't mind.
Thanks,
But
guys. Look forward to seeing you Monday at 10.
Awesome.
awesome.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Tom.
Tom. Happy 4th of July. Thanks for being here. And folks, really, Tom shared something pretty incredible here today. The sunrise signal is something unlike anything that you've seen before. You know, it's really something powerful that most folks just don't know about. A lot of folks just simply aren't in the pre-market, aren't looking at that at all, or maybe you just have kind of a sense that something's going on in there that you should know about, but you don't know exactly, well, what to do or how to tap into it. You don't know where to look. Well, now you don't have to do any of that work. You don't have to dig through 1,000 charts or figure out how and what to do. You just follow the sunrise signal. It really is that simple. Every morning it's dropping at 8:10 a.m. And then you don't even have to look at it at 8:10 a.m. You don't have to look at it at 9:10 a.m. You can wait all the way until 10 a.m. Eastern time. If you're a night owl like me, you don't like being up first thing in the morning, or you've just got other things going on, you can always, always, always wait and see it later. And, in that case, 10 a.m. is when the other signal comes out. It's really amazing what they put together here. So, David, stick around for a few more minutes. If there are more
Absolutely.
questions to be answered, I'm here with you. So
All
let me
right,
know.
awesome. I appreciate the company, Stephen.
Of course.
And we just had a question about how do people join the Telegram group. So once you get a link to the members area, so when you purchase, whether you do it online or you do it over the phone, we're going to get your email address. You'll get a link to create your password for the members area if you're not already in one of our programs. If you are, it's the same members area as all of the other DTI programs in
Mhm.
one-click trading. When you go in there, you'll be able to see a little tile for the sunrise signals. And when you click in there, it'll have all of the contents of the training and all of that, but there's also a link to join the Telegram channel. It's right in the members area to join the Telegram channel. If you're not in Telegram at all, you'll just have to create an account with Telegram. It's free, it doesn't cost any money. You just put in your basic information and you create an account. Pardon me. And again, you can do it on your phone, your tablet, your computer, it doesn't matter. You can do it on all of them. Get those alerts
Wow.
everywhere. Um, and then you'll be able to get instant notification when those alerts come out right around 8:10 and 10:10 every day, or every trading day at least. All
There's
right.
some I don't think we've mentioned yet, David, that we probably should shout out because I think Tom snuck in at the end of this um, order opportunity for folks that aren't familiar with it. He snuck in a really deep discount on his roadmap software, which is really the powerhouse behind not only the sunrise signal, the Genesis, not the generous algorithm, the Genesis
Well,
algorithm. Maybe it's both. But it's a chance to grab that on the super cheap. It's the trading software the DTI team has spent 500,000 to probably way more than that now. That's an old number, but $500,000 on to build. It's really incredible. So if you have that extra capital and you can add that to your, toolkit, Batman style, have your utility belt of trading tools, it's certainly one to take advantage of. Any more questions I can answer for you, David, before I let you take over and do whatever you need to do to close this out?
well, I think we have two questions here that I don't quite understand what they're asking. So, Mark, you
Yeah.
asked what the renewal rate is. I'm not sure what you mean by that.
Renewal rate. So, I mean, I assume he means if he gets these 2 years today and doesn't go VIP, what's the rate going to be? It's a hard question to answer because it'll be 2 years from now before we get there. But it will be more than the VIP upgrade cost $898. Total VIP price is $19.97. So I can guarantee it'll be at least $10.99 in 2 years, I would think, and probably much more than that. So, I know sometimes you have as much capital as you have, and I get that. So if you need to wait, you still have that opportunity to upgrade to VIP for a discounted price for a while, but hopefully the first trades work out for you and get a chance to lock in that price
Yeah.
for sure. And if you, let's see, how do I buy the roadmap software? How much is it? So normally the roadmap software goes for anywhere around like $4,000, $5,000, depending on how generous Tom's feeling. Sometimes it gets down to 3,500. Today, if you join as a VIP member, it's only 1497, I believe.
19.
So 1997.
Yeah.
Okay, excuse me. So if you join VIP and follow that, or just call the team, they can help you be a part of it. What is that number? 904-706-3532. That's probably the easiest way to get in there.
Yeah. All right. I think I can take it from here, Stephen, if you want to take off.
All right.
Appreciate
Well,
you
I've got
sticking
some house
around.
guests that are getting ready to leave, so I'd like to see
All
them
right. Yeah,
off. So I
absolutely.
appreciate everyone. I'll just give one more spiel, David. This is really, really awesome what Tom's put together here, and I'm really excited to start using it. You've got the signals every day. It's all automated. You're never going to have to guess when or where a trade alert comes out. That's one of the coolest things to me because, even a pretty consistent trade service, things are going to move around. This is an algorithm, so it's going to be right on time every day. Tons of training. You've got access to the DTI team, which is worth the price of admission alone. And you get to listen to David Mountain, which really isn't a byproduct of the service, but it is a cool bonus. So join Sunrise Signals today. Go to dtitrader.com/sunrise, 904-706-3532. I believe I covered it with the chat. Yes. And take advantage of this today. Make sure you're one of those remaining few spots that are available to the first 100. And David, thank you. We haven't really thanked you yet for giving up so much of your time on July 4th to make this happen. We appreciate that a ton. Hopefully, you have enjoyed yourself, and I will let you take it from here. Thank you, Buck, who shouted us out. Thank you, Brent, and I will let David take over. Happy
All right.
Independence Day. Happy July 4th, everyone. Enjoy your holiday weekend, and
You
bye
too,
bye.
Stephen. Thanks. Stephen is such a sweet, sweet man. All right. Uh, the questions about roadmap. So there are three steps to the online order process. So when you go to the order form from the link, you're presented with the 2-year option. On the second page of the order form, you're presented with the offer to upgrade to lifetime of Sunrise Signals. And then if you take the lifetime, on the third page, you're offered the special discount on roadmap software for 1997 for a year. So if you're not taking the VIP of Sunrise Signals, you're just taking the 2-year, but you would also like the roadmap software discount, you have to do it over the phone. So if you want to do it online, you need to get this Sunrise Signals VIP and then the roadmap software 1 year. If you want to do it over the phone, you can just get the 2-year Sunrise and then the 1-year roadmap. So hopefully that clears that up a little bit. I know it's a little confusing. Couple more questions here. Let me just read the chat. Can the upgrade to VIP rate be locked in today? No. So it's at the rate whenever you buy it. So if you buy the VIP today, I mean it's not gonna. I'll be honest with you, it's not gonna change this weekend. You can upgrade to that VIP this weekend if you want to, but you'd have to do it over the phone because once you buy the 2-year and then get in there, see that you like it and everything, and then you want to upgrade to VIP, there isn't going to be a link to just buy the VIP. You'd have to buy the 2-year again, and I'm sure you don't want to do that. So, if you want to take a day or two to get into the VIP, you can do that. You'll just have to call the phone number to do the upgrade. All right. If there are any questions that you've asked that we have not answered so far, it means that I missed them. So please go ahead, put them in the chat again. If you gave us your email address for a replay, give us a little bit of time to get that out to you. You will get a link to the replay. I did also put a link in the chat for the 4 p.m. live presentation of the replay. 4 p.m. today, so just about 3.5 hours from now, you can watch the same presentation over again with that link that I dropped in there, which is dtitrader.com/rise, RISE. is going to be the link for 4 p.m. Eastern today. If you would like us to call you instead of you trying to fight everybody on the phones, and you didn't already give us your name and phone number, you can do that. Put your name and phone number in the chat. We will have somebody from our sales team reach out to you and also lock in your spot if it's not too late already. So various ways that you can see this again. You can get us to reach out to you, etc. And if you have a question and we have not answered it, please go ahead, drop it in the chat, and we'll do our best to answer it for you right now. Just to recap a little bit, what's really cool about this Sunrise Signals program is that we are looking at a signal that comes out at 8 a.m. Eastern Time before the opening bell, and then we're looking at that same signal again at 10 a.m. Eastern Time after the morning rush, the first half hour of the market, to see if things are moving in the same direction. And it could be up or it could be down. We can take advantage of it either way. But by looking at this twice at those critical times of day to see whether they agree with each other, things are consistently moving in the same direction, it guides us on how to then approach the stocks that we're watching that also meet other criteria and give us the confidence that we know which direction they're going to move for that day or in the next couple of days. And so that's what allows Tom to confidently put out these trades and to have that almost 80% success rate that he's had historically so far with this in predicting which way these handful of different stocks on his watch list are going to move. So now, as far as the exits, you don't need to count days. You don't need to wait for an exit alert. When Tom gives you that trade, he also gives you two things. So he tells you how to get in the trade. He also tells you what our profit target is and what our stop loss is. And what that means is he's telling you what we're shooting for in profit so you can put in an order to get out when we reach that profit goal. And he's telling you if it goes this far away from us in the opposite direction, then we're wrong and we should get out and minimize our losses. And you can put an order in for that stop loss as well. So you don't have to manage this trade after that 10:10 alert comes out and you get in the trade. You don't have to monitor it. You don't have to watch it. You can put all the orders in immediately and then you're free to go. You don't have to worry about it. And so you don't have to watch the market. Now, how long do we typically hold these trades? Well, we're holding them for a few days most of the time. How that means that if we're getting 2 or 3 trades a week and we're holding them a few days at a time, that there'll be some overlap in those trades, right? Which is another great reason that you don't want to have to watch them because you've got overlapping trades. And I'm sure you're doing other trades with other strategies and other systems, whether it be from Tom or your own or somebody else. And you've got overlapping trades. The more things that are overlapping, the more things you have to watch all the time and worry about when to get out of, the more stress it causes. This doesn't cause that stress because you don't have to worry about it. By 10:15, if you're doing it, right away at 10:10, by 10:15, you stop worrying about it. You just check in the next day for the next trade and see how well you're doing on the trades that closed out. So really a very easy, low stress, low time consumption way to trade the market. Really very cool. And of course, if you are new to this, if you need help with this, there are a number of ways you can get help. We have a fantastic customer support team. We have a fantastic team that puts all these educational programs together. So not only do you have the education that's immediately available for you in the members area today, as soon as you join, you also have the ability to email customer support with a question. You have the ability to call customer support during normal business hours, Monday through Friday, 9 to 5 Eastern, and get live people on the phone that can not only answer your questions, but also, if need be, they can log onto your computer and actually show you stuff right on your computer if that's what you want. And then we also have customer service live, which is 3 hours a day, Monday through Friday, every trading day. They're doing a 3 hour live webinar like this, a Zoom call that you can come and go as you please. You don't have to register. You don't have to pay for it. You get automatic access by being a member of Tom's program. And they're doing live demonstrations, like I said, 3 hours a day, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Time, Monday through Friday, except for holidays like today. they're there doing demonstrations and they're available to answer your questions as well and demonstrate things for you on screen. And for everybody else who's there, you'll get the benefit of hearing other people's questions and seeing other things demonstrated that you may not have asked about. And they'll get the benefit of hearing your questions and seeing the answers to your questions demonstrated as well. So we have just a number of ways. And then, of course, you can also email in and ask questions to Tom. Those questions will get passed to Tom or his other educators on the team, and you'll get people who actually put this program together answering your questions. So you get direct access to the brains behind all of this stuff as well. Really incredible support behind this. This isn't just, hey, you're going to get a Telegram alert and like you're on your own, right? There's a lot of support behind this, a lot of education behind this, and you know, it should if you haven't gotten anything from DTI before, if you haven't gotten anything from Tom before, I can tell you there are thousands of people in his programs, hundreds of people in this program already between the beta group and the people that are joining today. And there will be lots of people supporting all of those people and you if you join. So Barry asked, will this service be on one click? So yes and no. The service, all the education material, the members area is on one click. The alerts are not on one click. The alerts are in Telegram. So you need to be in Telegram in order to get the alerts. But all the other stuff will be available in one click, as well as the link to join the appropriate Telegram channel. Let's see. In the example showed, he put in trades for 10 to 15 days out. Does that mean Monday through Friday we count the days? Oh, so those are when we talk about like how many days out the options are and things like that. That's talking about like the expiration of when the option is. So if we're buying a call or buying a put, that call or put has an expiration date. They're almost always on Fridays. There are a couple of exceptions to that rule, but they're pretty much always on a Friday. So when we talk about 5, 10, 15 days out, it depends on whether, what day of the week we're putting it out as to exactly how many days out the option expiration will be. You don't have to worry about counting though. You don't need to worry about counting. All the information is going to be, let me pull that up for you. I'll pull up that example alert again. Let me find that for you. Do. And that example alert is going to tell you, or the alert that you get is going to tell you exactly what the expiration on the option should be. And you don't have to worry about counting days. Let me find that. I know Steven pulled it up and then he left, and now I don't know which slide it is, but give me 1 second, I'll find it. Do. Here we go. Okay, so let me put this on the screen. Now, this is just an example trade. Please, this is old. Don't take this trade today. This is just an example, but you can see here that he's telling you what the current price is. He's telling you that you're gonna if you're going to trade the options, we talk about 10 to 15 days expiration. So again, it's going to be basically 2 to 3 weeks, depending upon what day of the week it is. The options are going to have expirations on Fridays. So if we were doing this today, then it would be 2 weeks from today or 3 weeks from today, if that answers your question about as far as how you're counting them. So it's going to be 10 market days or 15 market days. It's not going to be 10 calendar days. Unless it's a Wednesday, then it might be 13, 12 or 13 calendar days, right? So it's always going to be a Friday. He's looking at 2 to 3 weeks is what he's trying to tell you. Go 2 to 3 weeks out from whatever today is, whatever the Friday is, that's 2 to 3 weeks from today. But he'll go over that in the master class. He'll go over that already in the training that's in your members area as far as this is what an alert looks like, and this is how you would execute that in your trading platform. So that's what they mean by 10 to 15 days out. So if it were today, today's a Friday. If today were a trading day and you were placing this trade today, you would look for, either I guess the 18th, if my math is correct, would be a Friday, or the 25th, right? So yeah, the 18th of July or the 25th of July, as far as your expirations on the calls, is what that would be, right? We're holding them for just a few days, but the expirations on the options are going to be a few weeks, right? We don't want them to expire while we're trying to trade them in this strategy. All right. Do, do, do. Any other questions that we didn't get to? Let's see. Will the sunrise signal trading order specify for each alert be posted on one click website alerts page as soon as it's posted in Telegram or by alerts via email? So the question is, are the alerts also posted in one click? And I know they're on Telegram. Um, I'm going to look and see if we have them in one click right now, or I don't know if Jonathan, if you're able to answer that. Yeah, only Telegram. Thank you. So these alerts are only going to be in Telegram. You need to be in Telegram in order to trade this program. All right. If we don't have any other questions, then I will ask you to copy down the phone number that you see on the screen. Even if you've already joined, even if you are still not sure, whatever, as soon as we close out this webinar, you won't know how to contact us. So if you write down that phone number and you have a question when we close out the webinar, at least you'll be able to reach out to us. That question pops up in your head. Um, well, Brock just asked if you're in Telegram, will this channel show up? So you need to sign up for this channel um, using the link in the members area. So if you go once you purchase and you get the link to the members area, in the members area you will see I can even show you if you'd like, but you'll see a link to the private Telegram channel for Sunrise Signals, and then you just click on that. If you're already in Telegram, it'll ask you, do you want to subscribe to this channel? And you just confirm it and you're in. If you're not already a user of Telegram, then you'll have to just create your account with Telegram, and then you can click on that link and register. But it won't like automatically know just because you purchased to put you in it. You have to click on the link in the members area. What about Telegram alerts after the initial orders process if the market price of the option order starts dropping rapidly? So again, you don't really need additional alerts because we have our profit goal if it goes in the direction that we want it to go, and we have our stop loss, which is our maximum movement against the direction we want to go. So if we're looking for it to go up, we buy a call, we have our profit target, when we want to get out and take our profit if it does continue to go up. If it turns against us and goes down, we have that stop loss to say, for example, like in the one I was just showing you a minute ago, we want to, let's say, take a max 30% loss. So you're going to put in a stop loss when you buy it. Right after you buy it, you're going to put in a stop loss to say, I want to get out if it goes 30% against me. And then you don't have to watch it. You don't need another alert. You're just going to exit automatically if it goes 30% against you, because that's what Tom is basically saying. If it goes that far against us, we're wrong and we're going to get out of it. You know, if it only goes 5% against us, it might turn around and go back in the direction we want. So we're not going to get out. But at 30%, we recommend getting out. So you're going to get out at that stop loss. You don't need another alert. You don't need to worry about the trades. Once you've gotten in them and you've put in your profit target and your stop loss, you're good to go. Set it and forget it. That's right, Brock. So I think that is all we have. Write down that phone number, 904-706-3532. You can write down the website address if you want as well, dtitrader.com/sunrise. I can promise you that that 2-year deal is going away Sunday night. It'll be gone Monday. The VIP price will be changing soon. I don't know exactly what day it's going to change. And I believe the 2-year price is going to go basically be their 1-year price starting Monday. So you're going to, if you don't purchase it sometime this weekend, you're going to lose a free year that Tom gave everybody for 4th of July. So it'll still be a huge discount to get the 1 year at that price. But if you want to get your 2nd year free, you got to do it this weekend. All right. Thanks everybody for being here with us on this special 4th of July Friday presentation. Like I said, if you would like to see this presentation again and you didn't give us your email, or even if you did, you can still come to the replay at 4 p.m. It's going to be dtitrader.com/rise. I just dropped that in the chat. That'll be 4 p.m. Eastern time, so roughly 3 hours from now. Hope to see anybody who wants to see this again there then. All right. Thanks, everybody, and have a great 4th of July. Have a great weekend. Hope to see you in the master class on Monday at 10 a.m., I believe he said. We posted that earlier today, earlier in the chat. I believe it was 10 a.m. Eastern time on Monday. The link for that, if probably not in there, it might not be in the members area already. If it's not, if you don't see the link for the master class, don't worry about it. It'll be there by Monday morning, and it'll probably get emailed out to everybody who joined. All right. Have a good one, folks.